Welcome back, everyone. Scarland here, bringing you another Neverwinter video. And today we are on the preview server, continuing our Mod 16 coverage. Today's video topic is going to be the boon system. Now, we all read the developer blogs as far as the boon system. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. However, it is pretty much an overall nerf. If you look at the new tier system, this is all we get, right? So let's take a look at the stronghold. Nothing has changed currently with the stronghold boons. Lifesteal obviously is out of the game, so the lifesteal has now changed to awareness, but pretty much all the guild is still the same setup. Now, you're going to have one entire section that is going to bundle all of your campaigns. So previously, every time you did a campaign, you would get a set of boons with that campaign. Well, they've done away with that system now and gave everyone the same boons and the same tier system. So if you finish a campaign now, instead of being rewarded an actual boon, you're going to get a boon point. And the more points you have, then the more you can spend on the new system. Now, why do I say this is an overall nerf? Well, like I said, each and individual campaign had its own set of boons, and the top boon would be an effect. Now, this is their way of, again, simplifying everything and combating the power creep that has been a problem. The whole point of Mod 16 is to basically start this game fresh and do away from the power creep that, we've had for the past 5 years from Mod 1 through Mod 15. So I say it's an overall nerf because now we only have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 total master boons. Now, these master boons, like I said, originally you would get one end boon at the campaign that would do something special, and now they've kind of lumped them all together. Now, it's also a nerf because, like I said, some of these statistics down here, if you go through the old system and look, there's a lot missing from the old system versus the new system. Now, I do like the new system in regards as the setup and the user interface. It's a lot cleaner, it's a lot easier to navigate. But like I said, what I personally don't like about it is the being able to customize your character and your playstyle. What's going to happen is this is going to be 100% cookie cutter. DPS are ultimately going to take the same path. Tanks are going to take the same path, and healers are going to take the same path. There's no defining customization anymore as far as the boon system. With some, well, I can't say that 100%. There is to a degree, which we will go over. Now, I'm simply going to hover over these. So for Tier 1, for instance, you have to spend X amount of points in Tier 1 before you unlock Tier 2, which is going to be 10. And then 20, 30, 45, all the way up to the Master boon. Now, keep in mind, once you get up to Tier 5, you can only choose 2 of these. And with the Master boon, you can only choose 1 of these. Now, you can use your loadouts and customize this to a certain degree. For instance, when I go over my Warlock stuff down the road, I still plan on having a AoE loadout versus single target loadout. And you can adjust the boons to a degree that is going to benefit an AoE versus a single target. But let's go ahead, let's jump right in and take a look of what we got here. Keep in mind, of course, this is on preview. We are very early in the preview stages of Mod 16, so all of this is, of course, eligible to change down the road. They can make adjustments and tweaks, so this is not the final product. So let's go ahead and just look at this. So we have the power increase right here. It's 250 power as well as 2,000 HP, and this is per rank. So you get 5 ranks of this, and the power one is in every tier. So we have the power one here in Tier 1, the power in Tier 2, Tier 3, and Tier 4. Now also in Tier 1, we have the critical strike by 500 per rank. However, you can only put 2 in here, so you can only get 1,000 critical strike compared to the power gain. We have the critical avoidance, which again is only 2. And now we have the reduces the damage cultist do to you 1% per rank, so it's 5% total. And then we have the damage. So again, in those individual campaigns in the past, such as, let's just say, Mod 15, for instance, was the cultist. Well, they just lumped those 2 damage ones in here for the damage reduction and the damage increase to the cultist, which came originally only from Mod 15, and you would be able to get that. I believe the demon one is in here, as well as Underdark, as well as the Schult for dinosaurs, and the undead for Barovia. But like I said, you have to make your select choices. You only now have X amount of points to distribute compared to completing every campaign and you getting every boon. So now you have to make choices based upon what you're going to be doing and what you're going to want to accomplish in the game. Finally, for Tier 1, we do have a gold gain. So, I mean, if you're into that sort of thing, you can have 4 points, which will equal 4% of gold gain. So once you spend 10 points in this, which we will real quick here, we'll just drop 5 here, 2 here, and for instance, I want to take 3 points into cultist damage, and then you can see the next tier unlocks. So for Tier 2, as I said, you have the power again. Now you have armor penetration, which is 500, so 1,000 total. Then you have the defense rating, again, 500, so 1,000 total. You have the reduction and increase to demon damage, again, coming from Underdark. Usually you would obviously get this in the old system. Now you have to decide, well, do I actually want this? Do I fight demons enough that I'm going to need the increased damage? So you guys can see that loadouts will become a major part again. A lot of people were saying, well, we had all these loadouts and now we don't need them because there's only 2 Paragon paths per class. Well, you can still customize some stuff to a certain degree. For instance, if you want to take 5 points here and another 4 points between these two, and then take 2 points over here, and not be doing something demon related, that's completely up to you. So there is customization to a degree. However, like I said, I like the old system where if you completed the campaign, you're rewarded all of the boons from that campaign. Cryptic unfortunately didn't like this. It helped to the power creep, and thus leading us now to a simpler system. So finally on Tier 2, we also have increased movement speed, which can go up to 4%. And then we have increase the effectiveness of healing potions at rank 3. So if you max this out, you have a chance for your healing potion to continually heal you for 2 minutes long. So this is an interesting boon in itself alone. And all of these healing boons do have a effect like that. So for us, we're just going to drop 5 points here, of course. 2 points here. And me, myself, I want the demon damage. For now, we'll just go until the next tier. So now we've unlocked Tier 3. Again, you have the 5 points in power. Now you have combat advantage by 500, which equals 1,000 total. Then you have awareness by 500, so 1,000 total. And then here we have the Schult old boons, which is going to be your reduction and damage toward dinosaurs. And then we have increase your companion influence by 2% per rank. So this is an 8% increase to your companion influence. And then we have the HP potion again, except at this time it has a chance to increase your max HP for 2 minutes. Now, as far as I don't know if anyone has tested this to see how much HP you gain when you have rank 3. It could be a significant amount, so tanks might be interested in looking at all of the healing ones to then stack the effects. If they actually stack, again, that all needs tested. Let's go ahead and dump our points here. And then I like to go with the companion influence. But at the same time, if you're going to go back to Schult for farming, for instance, maybe you personally want that 1%, ultimately 5% increased damage to dinosaurs. So now we're up to Tier 4. Again, we have power, 2 points into accuracy, which is 1,000 accuracy. And then 2 points into deflect, which is going to be 1,000 deflect. And then we have the undead. So now here's the Barovia boons. Your reduction in damage increase to undead. Then we also have your increase your control resistance by 1,000 per rank. So this is 4,000 control resistance. A lot of people think that this is bugged and this is too high and this is getting changed. I think they just lumped all of the control resistance into one boon. So, for instance, you had a bunch of control resistance throughout all of the campaigns. Well, they just took all of those and literally put them into one boon now. For instance, if you're a PvP player, you're probably going to take all 4 ranks of this. Again, we have the healing effectiveness, and this time it increases your maximum power by 2 minutes. Again, we don't know how much power that actually gives us, but it could be worthwhile. It needs tested in the long run. Let's go ahead and dump our points as always here. So, like I said, you have choices to make here. So, for instance, if you want the undead, and then we still have points left over here. So, if you want to boost your deflect, the control resist, or like I said, the potions. So, there we go. And now, finally, you can only choose 2 of the tier 5. Increase the effectiveness of incoming heals by 1% per rank, so 4% total. Increase your crit severity by 1% per rank. So this is crit severity by 4%. Increase your stamina regeneration by 1%, so 4% total. Increase the effectiveness of outgoing heals by 1%, that's 4% total. Increase your action point gain by 1%, 4% total, and increase your recovery speed by 1% total. Now, this is a little confusing because obviously recovery was taken out of the game, so I'm under the assumption that increase your recovery speed is your cooldowns on your encounter powers. So you, again, have choices to make here, guys. If you're a DPS class, and you're making a critical strike build, then you're probably going to want to take the crit severity as well as maybe the call of power or the quick turnaround. You have to make a choice. There's 3 good boons here, however, you can only pick 2. Do you want your encounter powers to have a faster cooldown? Do you want your action point gain to go up by 4%? Or, like I said, if you're a DPS build that is focusing on crit, do you want that crit severity? Now, for me personally, of course, we're going crit severity, and I think the 4%, honestly, to the action point game isn't worth it for a DPS. Now, maybe for the tanks and the healers, because I don't have experience with them right now, you guys can leave me a comment below and we can discuss that. But I honestly think 4% coming from a boon when you have other options and limitations, right? Like I said, you can only pick 2. As a DPS character myself, I personally don't think that the 4% action point gain is worth it for me. I rather have faster cooldowns on my encounters, judging if that's in fact what the recovery speed even means. So 4% cooldowns, we obviously have to test this, but everyone and each individual will have to make their own decisions based on their playstyle, the build that they're going to be running, and of course what class they are. So for now, we're just going to dump the 4 points into here. Now let's get into the nitty gritty here, guys. The Master Boons, you can only pick one of these, period. So first on the list, we have Deathly Rage. Chance on a kill to do the following for 10 seconds. So at rank 1, you increase your combat advantage by 500 per rank. Rank 2, you increase your damage by 2% per rank. And then finally, rank 3, you add 10,000 damage to each attack. Now this can only occur once every 30 seconds. So you have a 20-second downtime between killing an enemy and activating all 3 of these bonuses at the same time. This one in particular I've been using and testing, and I like it on my AoE build currently. It works out very well. I'm working on trying to get to level 80, so I only have 2 ranks of this. Once I get to level 80, then I'll have the 3rd rank, and I will fully be able to test this. The second one is Death's Bulwark. chance on a kill to do the following: increase defense, increase critical avoidance, and add 10,000 temporary hit points. This is more tanky. We have the Bloodlust, chance on encounter use to do the following: decrease target's power, do an additional attack equal to your weapon damage, and increase AP gain by 1%. So it does have some niche builds, you know. DCs might be taking this, for instance. I'm not sure personally, but it's there. We have the Focused Retaliation, chance on hit to do the following: reduces target's armor pen, reduces target's accuracy, mirrors all incoming damage back to the attacker. We have the Life Lessons. Now, I've been messing around with this one on my single target build. Chance on at-will use. So when you're spamming your at-wills, you have at rank 1, you're going to apply a DOT. At rank 2, you're going to add additional damage to your attack. And finally, at rank 3, it actually has a lifesteal on it. Adds a chance to lifesteal from your target. So I've been messing around with this one in particular on my single target loadout, and so far it's worked out well. We have the Enhanced Application, chance on at will, apply a heal, adds a self heal, reduces the damage of the next attack. So most likely healers will be looking at this. We have the Blessed Advantage. When you heal for at least 10% of the target's health, the following effects will be applied to that target: apply a heal over time, increase the combat advantage, and reduce the recharge of abilities by 10%. And finally, we have the Blessed... what the hell does that say? Whatever. When you heal for 10% of the target's health, the following effects: apply heal over time, increase max HP by 1,000 per rank, so 3,000 total HP, heal stamina by 10% of target's max. Now, all of these boons, as far as the master ones, I think personally they're very lackluster. So, for instance, we'll just assume that this is my AoE loadout and we'll dump 2 points in here. You have to be level 80 to get all 3 points. But I honestly think they're kind of lackluster. It's taking a system and simplifying it so much that like I said, there isn't a whole lot of room for customization, where with the previous boon system, we at least got to pick and choose from a lot more option. Now we're basically just looking at one page, right? And also my question is how are they actually going to build on this system? Because right now we have a predetermined amount. There's X amount of campaigns in the game, so that leaves you with X amount of points to spend. But let's say mod 17 comes out, let's say mod 18 comes out, let's say mod 19 comes out. So now, you know, that's 3 or 4 new campaigns that you're going to increase your boon points. Are we just ultimately, eventually, going to get all of these boons regardless? So I'm curious, or are they going to add another page? Like, what are they going to do to actually build on this system? I actually, like I said before, liked the old system. It made, you know, the campaigns at least worth doing to a degree, other than doing the campaign, playing the storyline, getting enjoyment from it, unlocking the dungeon. The boons were always there to grind out at either the very end or at the very beginning, whatever playstyle you did. It gave the campaigns a little more spice, right? So every campaign had their own set of boons. I personally did not have a problem with this. I would have liked them to take the additional time to go back and actually just adjust all of the campaign boons. Because yes, let's be honest, the campaign boons were becoming overpowered to a certain degree. You were getting so many effects and everything else. But this new system, I can already see in the future, is going to have flaws. How are they going to build on this system? Are we, like I said, are we eventually, ultimately just going to max out all of these anyway? Are they going to create new ones going further down the road? So I'm interested to see how they build on this system, because right now, this system looks to me like the game's done, right? Like, there would be no more future content. You're going to get X amount of boon points for completing mods 1 through 16, and you have those X amount of points to spend on this tier system. So how are they going to increase this? Like I said, when mod 17 comes out and you finish that campaign, you're going to get what, four or five more boon points. So eventually, by the time we hit mod 20, mod 21, mod 22, even if you want to go all the way to mod 25, right? We're talking years down the road at this point. But ultimately, we would be able to eventually max out all of this anyway, other than the only being able to choose two and choose one. So everything from tier 4 to tier 1, theoretically, if they continue the system without actually adding any more boons into the game, you're going to max this out. So I don't see what the difference is, because they're going to have to add more boons down the line anyway. What they should have did, and obviously is my opinion, some people might prefer this system, but my opinion on the matter is that they really should have just gone through the campaigns and adjusted all of the boons in all of the campaigns, instead of introducing a whole new system like this. Now, at the same time, I would have liked to seen them do the interface at least. The interface is nice like this. They did a good job with the interface, with the tier system and everything, but I think they actually did a little too much, and they've gone a little too far of what they probably needed to do. They could have simply just adjusted all of the current boons, left the system in place, and that way, when mod 17 comes out, and mod 18 comes out, and mod 19 comes out, they could just keep adding boons to the campaign itself. Like I said, me personally, I like the old campaign system. I didn't have a problem with it. Yes, it needed adjusted, and yes, I wish they had the additional time to do it that way instead of introducing this whole new system. So that is the boon system, guys. If you have any questions with it, or you want to talk about it, go ahead and leave me a comment below. Make sure, if you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It really does help the channel out. If you want to rate the video with a thumbs up, thumbs down, be my guest. But that's all I got for you today, guys. A lot of open discussion. This video was a lot longer than anticipated, but I really wanted to go into some in-depth discussion here at the end. So that is going to wrap it up for this video, and we will see you in the next one.